From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew.
Hello and welcome to episode 192 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Warren Carr, John Dyer, Karine Kawan and Sally Kunders, and we're coming to you on Saturday the 10th of August 2024. After any announcements this week, I'm delighted to say that we are joined in our Spotlight section by Martijn van der Spek, developer of PiccyBot. Then we have an unboxing of the Galaxy 7 watch. And finally, in the tip of the week, we return to a thing we looked at last week in the Samsung accessibility section, and that was about Speak Aloud on the keyboard. Well, how are we all? Karine, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Actually, August surprised me, finally. And it is like a great weather if we say that we are in August, and it's really a mild weather here. Things are going well, and everything is good.
Glad to hear it. John Boy?
I'm good. I just want the listeners to know how dedicated I am to this podcast. Today is my birthday, and I'm still here.
That's amazing. 65 again?
Yeah, 43.
I have to say, you look a lot older than that.
How would you know?
Exactly that. Warren, how are you?
I'm doing well, and happy birthday there, John. And Karine, I was hoping, though, that you were saying something good happened in August. I was hoping I was going to hear the ding, ding, ding ring of a bell, some nice quiz there, but I got disappointed, but that's okay. I'm doing well, Ed. This week has been better than last week. We're cooling down, so I'm happy about that. Karine, any response from you?
This will only ring in your head, my friend.
And I already wished John a happy birthday off the podcast, but I suppose I should do it. Otherwise, I'll look really mean. Has Ashley pulled your cheeks 43 times? That's what she needs to do.
No, she hasn't. We celebrated by going out to breakfast this morning. This evening, we're going to my father-in-law's to celebrate his birthday because we have the same birthday. So my birthday celebration was this morning, but of course they'll celebrate my birthday as well when we go over there later.
Well, that's a beautiful picture that you share the same birthday with your father-in-law. You boys can go out by yourselves if the women don't want to come along or something to that effect. I love the idea.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is he also is named John. So we don't even need two separate cakes. We just need one that says Happy Birthday, John. And we can share it.
Well, I'll be.
Yeah,
congratulations to Ashley. She was looking for someone who's as great as her dad.
She deserves a lot of credit because I'll be honest, if on the first date I found out she not only did she have the same name as my mom, but the same birthday as my mom, I would have been like, well, it was nice meeting you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I have to give her credit for sticking it out.
So it's funny you say that because I just had that sliding doors film moment and wondered if she might have taken different decisions. So I love the fact that you highlighted that the fact you could have done was a possibility.
Yeah, I'm glad it was not as weird for her as it would have been for me.
Well, I want to wish you a big happy birthday to you and to all the Johns that you know. And, well, I didn't expect that you are 43, to be honest. That is not an expectation that I had at all. I thought that you are just younger than that. So this was a surprise for me.
Thank you. That's a nice compliment. I
He gets
get
better
that a lot.
looking every day. That's what it is. See, I keep telling you guys that we got such a great crew, and everybody gets better looking every day. You know, I love it. Congratulations, my man. You've joined the club.
Yeah, but he's humble enough not to say this. He just want to show it to others without saying, like you do. You and Salah.
I think Sally and I are maybe a little bit too egotistic, but well, you know what? We just got better looking just too much. I think that's what it is.
It's like I said to you on the group earlier. Neither of you need to put your faces through AI because I'm not paying for ChatGPT 4.0 to go into therapy. Having to deal with your faces, like it'll give it nightmares.
It
That's
will
why we're on
hallucinate
podcast.
more and more, actually.
That's coming from now, Ed. That's coming from you, who is the cattle thief. So I don't care. Sally, you need to give it back to him, my boy.
Absolutely. Well, just during the conversation in our group, I took a selfie using Pic, but I'm full of compliments. Like, how goodly you're looking today, she said. Oh, amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm doing good here. It's definitely really hot these days. It's almost like over 90 degrees for you and almost 33 here, and it's crazy. And besides that, Super League is back, Ed. Yeah, the competition starts. Hoping to get the title this year.
Good. Yeah. Huddersfield have just kicked off in the league season. It seems to be 0-0 right now, but we have started the campaign.
Yeah, we're gonna play tonight, so I'm super excited. Like Mourinho is going on. Yeah.
And now, the announcement segment. This is a segment dedicated to things we want you to be in the know. And now for this week's episode, here's your announcements.
Do we have any announcements this week?
Well, if there's anything, it's our 200th anniversary coming up in 8 episodes. I can't tell exactly when that is, but that's something that we're planning for, guys. 8 episodes from now will be the 200th episode of the Blind Android Users. And again, we'll love for you guys to join us. We're looking forward to that because for me, this is a big milestone.
We very much are. And we had a good turnout on the last one we did. So please do mark your card for that. We'll include the date in the show notes and we'll tell you when that is in subsequent episodes.
Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
And in our Spotlight section today, I am delighted to say that we are joined by Martijn van der Spek, developer of the very popular PiccyBot app. Now, just before we come to Martijn, I am very sensitive to geopolitical issues in this very unstable world. And I wouldn't want us to mention to Martijn that England absolutely annihilated the Netherlands in the Euro 2024 semi-finals. So I need to get the podcast crew to commit to not mentioning the football. So please, each of you, when I call your name and I'll say a statement, I want you to say, I promise. Sally, I promise not to mention to poor Martijn that England obliterated the Netherlands in the Euro 2024 semi-final.
Well, I don't want to say anything because they won against Turkey in the quarterfinals.
You need to say, I promise. I told you to say, I promise. I told you to say, I promise.
No.
Warren, I need you to say, I promise after what I say. I promise not to mention the fact that England obliterated the Netherlands in the Euro 2024 semi-finals.
I don't flipping care. I don't watch either of those things anyway.
Oh,
So
you
who
have to say,
cares?
I promise. None of you are getting this thing.
Don't
So,
worry,
so
Ed. I'll
anyway,
do it. I promise not to ever mention anything about football that is not of the American variety.
Bingo,
So
bingo, my man.
Martijn, I hope you feel that I'm a very sensitive man and that I have made sure we won't mention football today.
Well, really appreciate it. So we're not going to talk about Olympics either.
No,
Holland's
no,
doing quite
indeed
well
not.
there.
Thank you, Martijn.
So to ask you your first question then, PiccyBot looks like an amazing app, but it's not your first accessible app, is it? Can you tell us how you got into app development and the other sorts of things that you've done?
Yeah, well, I've been developing apps for the last 15 years or so. And one of the first apps that I created for accessibility has been talking goggles. It was about 13 years ago. It is that I figured out that it was nice to use the Google Vision API and to describe what was seen in an image and then speak it out. So that was a basic app, and but it worked pretty well. And the main the feedback was so amazing. I thought, okay, it's not a very complex app to make, but at the same time, it meant so much for so many people that I got this feedback on, oh no, now I can do this at home, and now I can do this at home, and earlier, it's just this app talking goggles that does this. Unfortunately, Google changed their conditions. It all became a bit pricey to run, and it was basically a free app at that time, and it was very difficult for me to continue like that. I've still managed to continue, and now I'm using the OpenAI API in it, so it's still there, but it's not nearly as powerful as my latest app, PiccyBot.
So tell us a little about PiccyBot then. What does PiccyBot do?
Yeah, well, the PiccyBot, I thought, okay, well, most of the apps have they do recognition. They use one particular API. They use one particular engine. It is of one provider, and I felt that it was limiting, and that there's a lot of strength in different models. So I said, okay, well, let's make an app that runs on a number of engines. So let's take the APIs of Google, of OpenAI, of Anthropic, of Meta, and put it all together. And then I gave I gave people options, and basically you have an app that is stronger in certain applications. Like so that is how I started, and now one other aspect of it is now that not only does it recognize images, but it also processes videos. And that is something that up till now, to my surprise, actually, none of the other apps are doing. It is for me, it was like, as soon as I launched PiccyBot, people were saying, "Oh, can you do videos as well?" And then I started to, okay, well, why can't we do videos? So let's add videos. And that's that combination of having the different the flexibility of having different engines, also the option to have different personalities describing an image. These type of extra features have to have made PiccyBot stand out, and it is it's a very appreciated app, and I'm very happy with it. The numbers are not amazing because it's still a smaller community. That is understandable, but people are really appreciating it, and that is that is very important. And a lot of people are upgrading, so that allows me to keep on going and keep on further developing it.
So on the video, that, like you say, that is a unique feature. How do you think people should use that video feature when they have a video? Do they sync up? Do they share the video and read the PiccyBot description afterwards, or what? How do people use it?
Oh yeah, all different ways. Yeah, you can either take the app, start recording a video, and it will describe it, and that can again you get a response either with the inbuilt personality, so with the inbuilt voices, or you put that off and you can use then talkback to describe it for you if you wish to, or you can go to if you have a video in your library or in and you say, okay, fine, I want to share that to PiccyBot, and it will process it and it will describe it. It is again based on the settings in the app. It will either use its own voices or it won't, and then just give this give the textual description, which you can then read out for yourself with talkback. And you can also then export this, either the text or the voice separately. It's the idea is really to make it as flexible as possible. This so that's just put something to it and it will process it. It is also the sharing from different apps, because there was one of the requests is like, nowadays so much of the the data is all visual, and it's all in video format. Like, if you have a TikTok video or you have an Instagram video or anything, and this what is happening in that now? And then now, especially for Instagram, we've got that working to export or to share that directly to PiccyBot. In Facebook, it is Facebook is also possible to share the videos on at least on Android it is, and it's working like that. And we're trying to increase the number of apps that support the sharing to PiccyBot as well as the sharing from PiccyBot, and have that working smoothly.
Great.
Now, Martin, you talked about goggles, and you know what? That thing was my favorite back in 2014. And I used to think that the developer was an Italian or someone from Italy. And why did you take that thing away? I think we need goggles now more than before. Now that we have all this, the likes of Google Lookout, InVision, and all of that, and seeing AI, I think you should bring goggles back, because in my never to be humble opinion, it was the grandfather of anything else that we have today when it comes to this. Because I use that thing to read like my TV screens and be able to read like the 800 numbers. So sometimes I don't say what the 800 number is. And to be honest, I used to love that app, and I just wondered what happened to talking goggles. You know, and it's such an amazing thing to know that you're the same person who did that. So I think you should bring it back.
Yeah, but I do want to, especially, I know that the iOS version is completely broken, but the Android version actually should work. Again, I'll check, but there's not much interest for it now, but I want to keep it running. It is, I see it more as there's been an introduction, and now we'll take the next generation of apps and hopefully also integrate those apps into products, into smart devices. It's like glasses and stuff. It is to make it really provide a real assistance to to people with low vision to walk around and to do anything, just to describe what is going on around them. It is that's also what is now the next phase. You know that OpenAI is working on their new model, and they haven't really released it yet, or not given us access to it. But in a month or two, we should have that, and then things will get even more powerful with this. Of course, all these the providers are working on it. So I'll just wait and see, and if there's anything new coming in, then I'll integrate it into PiccyBot.
So yesterday I installed PiccyBot. For the longest time I thought, was it PiccyBot? Was it PiccyBot?
Both is fine again.
So you would be telling us as to how you came about choosing the name, but frankly, given the fact that you are the person who developed that talking goggles, I'm going to buy that because I know there's a pro version of PiccyBot, right? So I'm encouraging people to do that because you've been in this field for a while. And for someone who's dedicated to helping us, my encouragement would be that we support you in any way possible that we could. So I am giving you guys out a shout out out there. If you haven't, by all means, buy the pro version of PiccyBot, and I'm doing that as soon as we get done here. I'm so thankful for you being there for us.
I really appreciate it. And I think, like I said, we're only just starting in this now. There's so much happening. Actually, just over the last 2 weeks, I've not been as focused on PiccyBot as before, because there was a competition by Google with their Google AI model, and inviting developers to create an app for that. And I made another app based, more or less a spin-off of PiccyBot, using their Gemini API, and I have just submitted it. And I hope, it would be great to win, because there is some nice money involved, and but at least I hope that it will at least bring the possibilities of these type of apps in a better, in a grounded perspective, at least competing with other AI applications, and saying, okay, this is a very useful application of AI, because there's a lot of negativity about it, like, oh no, this AI this and that, and it will take over our jobs, and it will do this, and if you apply this AI properly as a tool, it can really help out, and this is one of the examples.
Martijn, I have already put my money where my mouth is. So whatever Warren says, I bought the app today. I have already paid my money. So I am in the vanguard.
Thanks a lot. I know that a lot of people know about the app, but still a lot of people don't. So I'm happy to that you have me here on the show, and at least you never know. It will. I think it can. It can help out. And of course the descriptions are not perfect. There is always something, but it will only get better. Every update, every model, I will add to it, and it will give a better description, and better accessibility, more features. As long as there is support from you guys, it will allow me to continue to develop it further.
Great.
Martijn, this is John. I just wanted to say, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but one of my favorite features in this app is the ability to adjust the personality, because I absolutely hate the personality of some of these AI things. Like I'm trying to get details on a scene, and it's like, oh my gosh, this scene is absolutely heartwarming. It just takes my breath away. And I'm like, dude, you're an AI. Just get to the point. Like, I want to know what's in the picture.
Yeah. In this case, you can just switch it off, but you have to get to you have to have a pro version to do that. It's a little bit annoying, I know, but it's one of my ways of making sure that some people do upgrade who really want to use it.
It's worth the money, in my opinion, for sure.
No, I just wanted to mention that the app is it's $3 per month either, or for or $20 for lifetime use. So I think it's a reasonable price. But in any case, people can use it for free, and if they like it, or if you like it, you can upgrade it for a month and then try that out, and then decide to hopefully join in permanently. It is, and that's the setup.
I was going to ask about one of the settings, and that was length. What does the length setting do?
It basically determines on how many tokens the model can use to describe it. So basically, if you put length on 10. It depends on the model, but overall you will get a very to the point short description. And if you put it on 100, you will get the longest description that model is capable of. So it's a bit of a mixture between selecting the AI model and the length on what you exactly get. But overall, the lowest value in length will give you the shortest description for that model.
One issue I had, Martijn, was when I was using PiccyBot under a VPN, it always fails. So I have to disconnect my VPN to use it. I just wondered if you'd seen that before.
Oh no, that's a new one. It is, I don't know why that would be. It is, well, okay, I'll look into that. It's odd. I mean, it is sometimes it's more the other way around, that if you use a VPN, the AI engines will not complain. But in this case, it doesn't actually matter, because everything goes to through first to my server, and then I disperse it. So it shouldn't matter. I mean, earlier there was a statement from OpenAI that, for instance, if you're in China, you can't use the services anymore. But that doesn't really. It does not affect even the users from China who would use PiccyBot. It is because it goes to my server and then it goes to OpenAI. It is so that's a new one.
I use Express. It's Express. It's failing with. And it works every time when I'm disconnected, and fails every time when I'm connected.
Okay. I'll check it out. ExpressVPN. Huh? I also have that, so that should be no problem.
Yeah. And one question, we were joking about this on the start. You say you're Dutch, but you moved to India. So how did that happen?
Well, I finished my studies in Holland, and then I was sent to Africa for the university, and I worked in different countries there. And then I worked in South America, and I worked in Pakistan, and then I ended up in India. It's been a interesting tour around the world, but it's a good place to be, I think, and it's and a lot of things are happening here now, actually. So I don't think it's a bad choice to be based from here now.
So, Martin, I kind of look at you now as the friend of the blind Android users and the accessible Android users. I think you should give us your betas to beta test for you. The crew from accessible Android and blind Android users, we should be your official beta testers.
Okay. Well, we can make that work. So, and definitely, we'll be more in touch the coming time. It is, there are not so many really Android specific groups. That for the accessible community. So it's really good to be in touch with you guys.
Nice.
En hallo Martijn, ik ben
Mhm.
Sally van Accessible Android. I'm going Dutch.
Uh-huh.
and,
Well,
and I'm gonna say bedankt voor je deelname. Thanks for joining us, if I'm good enough.
niet slecht.
Yeah.
Ja.
So I want to say you've been a really responsive developers in our conversations, because part of our emails, we send you a lot of bugs and reports, and you were so quick enough to fix it. What's your motivation behind this? I mean, being this responsive when you want to fix bugs, because some developers taking forever to return.
Yeah, well, I think that it has been, yeah. Well, one of the things that I've seen is there is a lot of also feedback from developers, and actually the pleasure of doing this is actually the positive feedback, and if I get something that is people do not like ExpressVPN or whatever, then I feel it's my duty to immediately look into that and see where that is going wrong. So it's I'm doing this to make it as work as well as possible, and then let's if I can do it quick, then I'll do it immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked him this because I remember once I sent you an email about an issue when there was an update and it was pointing to a different address rather than the PiccyBot app itself. It was playing random music, and you were quick enough to fix it. Like, it was less than an hour. That's amazing. Congrats to you.
Thanks.
Now, let's talk about privacy, Martin, because this is sometimes one of the issues that people raise. Is the matter of privacy. I don't think I have any videos that are naughty videos that I'll be concerned about. But how do you address privacy with respect to people's videos?
Well, that's the thing. It is it does go to the big guys, to either Google or Meta I mean I didn't do any processing about that. It's not being stored anything on my end, but I cannot guarantee what the the big conglomerates who are running these engines in the cloud, what they're doing. So I would never recommend sending really private data that is really that can hurt you as privacy. I wouldn't recommend sending that, also not to PiccyBot, honestly. The best engine that I can guarantee for is actually Llama 3. If you can select them on my end, because I'm running Llama 3 locally on my own server, so that at least there I can guarantee, okay, it's not going anywhere. But the others, I'm sending it out, and it is and again, according to their statements and their rules, they will not do anything. It is but again, I think that especially Google and Meta, they will check things like they have a duty to check for child pornography or whatever. So they have some algorithms that go to these data that goes up there. So it's tough in that sense that only until the engines are really running completely locally on your own hardware, then you can have full privacy. But so far, also PiccyBot is sending it to servers, and that can always be intercepted and done with. I mean, if these companies decide to do that, it is. I mean, again, according to their statements, and also OpenAI has been saying no. If you use the API, we will respect everything's privacy. We will not use it for training or anything. It is that, but yeah, who knows? This you can't really 100% trust them either.
That totally makes sense. And so, it's always use common sense. If there's something that one considers to be private, probably it's not a good idea. But you touched on something earlier on. And so I'm talking about maybe I'm doing a live video of something. Did you mention that it could actually be telling me what is going on? I think I missed that part.
So if you if you do a live video, it won't tell you right now. It needs maybe a 20 or 30 seconds delay before it can describe it. So it can't do it completely live yet. That is going to happen. It is. I mean, now the new OpenAI engine update. They promise that they can do that, so I am really looking forward to that. But right now, it is not yet possible.
Thank you.
That is another thing that I really eager to integrate my software into these the smart glasses. It's especially I've been working a lot with the Meta Ray-Bans, but I have not been able to completely integrate PiccyBot into it. So in the case of these Meta Ray-Bans, you have to you can take a video while you're walking around, and then afterwards you say share to PiccyBot and you get it described. This is, but it's close, but it's not there yet where we want it to be.
So hello, Martijn. First of all, I want to say that the app has a great potential. Actually, it is already proving to be different. The number of AI models that it supports, no other app is able to do that. Each app is able to only support one model. This is the first thing. And the other thing is the ability to describe videos, which you mentioned already, which is also not possible in other applications. So I support this app very much, and I hope that people will purchase it. Actually, the lifetime subscription is not at all expensive if we look at what the app is able to do. And going now to my questions, what about the ability to give people the ability to respond by text? So if I want to send a response using typing, are you planning to add this in the future? And what about chat history? So if I'm in a conversation about an image, I will be able to read the whole conversation, like the first response, then the response of me, then the response of the AI. So is it in the plans to add this? And the last question is regarding sustainability. So it's the problem always that, well, all of this needs funding, all of this needs money, all of this needs a lot of support, financial support. So are there any plans to try to find support from the big companies to financially support the app, to give it some funding? Because as you know, it's not that easy to rely only on people's subscriptions, because it's a small community and many people will just go to using the free applications, the free services, and some people are already unable to pay for the free for the paid subscriptions, even if the price is not that expensive. So yeah, those are my questions.
Very, very clear. Very now, first of all, about the chat, the communication, and the history. I'm actually very actively working on that. I've used before PiccyBot, or in between PiccyBot and Talking Goals, there's an app called Voice. like photo voice. It's also my app, and I'm using that right now as more or less a testing ground, because there I've introduced a chat interface and a chat history, and I've asked people, but at the moment it's only the iOS app. But I've asked what is the best type of feedback on how people appreciate that interface, and how it's how to integrate it properly into PiccyBot. So that is I'm really working on that. The only problem is that a lot of people are saying, no, don't do anything about PiccyBot. It's perfect now. Then don't change it. So I have to get around that by making sure that I don't break anything that is currently there. At the same time, I want to enhance the chat history, and like you said, it's definitely on the cards, and we'll introduce it in the coming weeks. Now that about the sustainability, that's very true. That's a bit on like the competition that I just went into for Google is one of the ways of doing that. I'm actually hoping that the fact that you're using I've made it an app called Vid AI. It's basically only taking the video part of PiccyBot, and then using the Google APIs for that. And I've submitted that yesterday actually. If I win that competition, it's a good cash prize, and that can then go for further development again. But I'm working in these type of ways of trying to get attention for the apps, and then hopefully get some other sources of income. But honestly, it's not bad. The thing is that the problem is as soon as everybody has a lifetime subscription, then there are only costs for me. That's clear. But it looks like it's still manageable. It is yes, I have the engine costs, but I can run it, and I can even I'm able to further develop it. So I'm optimistic. And so far the community has been very enthusiastic. It's like also like earlier apps, people would not upgrade, or people it will just be a free app. But for PiccyBot, almost 1 in 4, 1 in 5 users is upgrading. It's really good, and if that continues, it's fine. It is, and there will still be there will always be new people that are finding out about this about the app, and as the app gets more features, it will hopefully get more and more known.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in the competition.
Thank you. That's another thing. I may want to mention this because there will also be a public vote for the apps that are submitted, and in that case, any votes for my app will be very appreciated.
We will be campaigning for the app for people to vote for the app. Indeed, you should just tell us when the vote is open, and we will do our best, of course. Well, I noticed that the GPT-4 is less capable than how it is in the other applications. Like if I compare the GPT-4o responses in PiccyBot, it's giving me less detailed responses, more hallucinations. Like I don't know. Is it GPT-4o? Is there an unintentional mislabeling or something? Because if you compare it to Be My AI, for example, which uses the GPT-4, I think either Turbo or 4o, but I think it uses 4o. The responsive descriptions are much more accurate. So this problem is not with other models like the Gemini. So it's the first time that Gemini is able to be much capable in doing the descriptions. It is only in PiccyBot. So what's the problem with the GPT-4o model? What's the problem? Is it GPT-4o? What's the thing?
First of all, I am not 100% sure about Be My Eyes. They always been very, very close with GPT-4 with OpenAI. So they may have access to another API that I don't have access to, but that is one possibility. But the other thing is that there's possibly just a better prompt that they put in that has a more specific requests, and that is also I'm also looking at like, okay, describe it like you are, well, for a blind person, and it's a bit like how to tweak that initial request instead of just saying, okay, tell me what is this picture. I think that, well, my suspicion is that it is that Be My Eyes has been very much tweaking their prompt for GPT-4o. And I have to learn from that and also improve on PiccyBot there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Martijn, I'm looking back at our conversation and looking at the field of all this descriptive stuff. The one thing that we're kind of lacking on Android, and I don't know if you have any experience in this area, so it's a little bit unrelated, but I was hoping, though, that we'll get someone who would give us a TTS engine. This is one of those things that's kind of starting to diminish on the Play Store, and we're kind of being forced to maybe just one or two TTS engines when compared to, say, 2013, 2014, and in between, we had lots of those. And do you think you may one day try to develop a TTS engine for us? Because it's one of the things that we're lacking on Android.
I also noticed that well, especially the OpenAI and you have 11 Labs. They are great with their TTS engines, but they're actually quite costly. I think it's a matter of how to make it work for users who are used to having this for free or for very little. And at some moment, the market has probably just it's kind of broken there. But the technology is there. I think there's just not enough people that are there that are willing to really spend for it. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, the difficulty is obviously that some people need it and they say it should be free. Some people don't need it and it's a luxury and they should pay for it. So sighted people need to pay for TTS. Blind people need TTS, otherwise they can't use their phones. So 11 Labs can't. Well, if they are the solution, like you can't expect a blind person to pay a subscription for a TTS.
Right. It's really a very unfortunate situation there. Because the plain TTS models are not improving, and all the new developments are amazing. And again, there I'm hoping, like with GPT-4o, the costs went down. If OpenAI comes with their new voice model, hopefully either that model will be more economical or their earlier models will become very a lot less expensive, and then there will be more possible. But at the moment it's a bit. It is one of the costlier parts of the software, actually, the TTS part.
Indeed. Well, thank you. But I thought I'll put that out there because, as I indicated, that's one of the fields that has been narrowing and kept doing so. And it's such a shame because we used to have lots of those things. And now it's so hard to find a TTS engine, and it's not very good. It's not a good picture.
Right.
Well, Martin, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. And like I said, you are now our partner, the partner of both accessible Android and blind Android users. So this is your home, and you are our
Yeah, you're
home.
always welcome. Yeah.
Exactly. So, of course, and now we've become the official beta tester. So whatever you have, so
Now,
that
Yes.
competition you have, you let us know. And
Don't
it's gonna be a
hesitate
hush
to
hush.
send us an email, or
Yeah.
just reach out to us if you need anything, any question, or any like maybe you need an idea or you need an opinion about a certain feature. We'll be more than happy to help, of course.
okay.
And let us
Yeah.
know when that vote goes live, and we'll put it in our announcements in the next
We will.
episode we have.
Exactly.
Definitely.
But check out that ExpressVPN thing because it's really annoying.
Mhm.
Well, that you're a horse thief, so
Yeah.
Really? I work behind a VPN. So I need my house to work behind VPN.
And please, the most important thing, add the ability to send text responses.
And pull Kareen's
Right.
cheeks.
oh boy, beautiful.
Nice meeting you. Appreciate you.
Nice to get to know you. Appreciate it.
Really, it was a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And now, the unboxing segment. This is the segment dedicated to the unboxings of phones, tablets, watches, or any hardware device having to do with Android. And now, here's this episode's unboxing.
And now we have an unboxing, and John unboxes the Galaxy 7 watch.
Welcome to this quick unboxing of the Galaxy Watch 7. I just got it today. I ordered it in the 44 millimeters version, so the larger version of the basic Galaxy Watch 7. Not to be confused with the Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra, which is, I think, 47 millimeters. That thing's huge and costs twice as much. So I went with the basic one, although I did get the larger version of it. And because I ordered from Samsung, this is not going to be retail packaging, because they let you choose your band. They don't just give you a default band. So this is not, the box is not even sealed, honestly. And I got two bands, although they're the same, they're just different colors because the promotion gave me a free green athleisure, is what they call it, athleisure band. And then I chose for my model the cream colored athleisure band. So I got two bands with it in two separate boxes that are the same, just different colors. And I'm gonna go ahead and open the box here and see what we have. So there is a big empty space in the middle of the box where I guess the band should be if you bought it at a store, but that's empty. There's a little plastic bag that has something in it. I have no idea what it is. It feels like, let's see. I don't have any idea what this is. It feels like stickers. I'm just gonna ignore that, and I'll save the watch for last. So there's the usual cardboard box here. I'm going to open one end. We of course got the charger. Let's see. Yep, the USB-C to magnetic connection cable. Set this stuff aside. I think the only thing else in this cardboard thing is just papers. Then we have the watch. So it's just in here with no band connected to it, or just gonna tip it upside down and take it out. So feels pretty light. I'm used to a larger watch. The one I'm upgrading from is the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, which I actually have right here. So I'm going to compare size. I think this one is 46 millimeters, so it is larger. My previous one is larger, I should say. Yeah, I can feel the difference putting them next to each other. It's just a little bit larger, and of course that has to do with the physical rotating bezel that's on this one. I think their screen sizes are the same size. It's just the actual case of the watch is a little larger when you get the classic model, which has the physical rotating bezel, which is not, unfortunately, is not available with the Galaxy Watch 7. You only can get the one without the bezel. So that's a little disappointing, but so I have it here. I'm going to get this box out of the way. Open one of these straps. I guess it doesn't matter which one. Figure out the color later. Okay, so this is the athleisure band. I think they gave you like 3 or 4 different ones to choose from. I chose this one. This is the medium large. I was going to get the small medium, but they did not offer it for whatever reason. This does seem a little large for me, but the band does have the, I think, yeah, last year's model had this too. There's a button on the underneath side of the band that you can press to retract the pins to make it a lot easier to connect it. Previous generations, I think you had to like use your fingernail to like pull on a certain part of the band to get the pins to retract. So yeah, I've already got one side on. Going to put the other side on now. This athleisure is kind of a, I guess it's a silicone, but it's textured, like it's breathable, so it's got holes all throughout it. In fact, I think, yeah, I can't even distinguish the, if you want to call them breathing holes, from the holes where the buckle pin would go through. All right, so I've got it there. I'm just gonna try it on. This is too big for me. The part of the band that you put the excess band through is kind of fixed to it. Normally there's like a that piece that you could slide up and down the band that you can adjust. Well, now there's 2 of those here and they're fixed. You can't slide them. So that's different than what I'm used to. All right, I'm gonna take it back off. Let's see. And power it on. Okay, hold it about 3 seconds and you'll feel a vibration. And it's probably booting up now. To turn it on, I pressed and held the home button, which, if you're holding it with the buttons on the right side and the screen facing you, it's the top button. So I pressed and held that. Now I'm getting another vibration. I wonder if that means it's ready to set up. I'm going to do the 2-finger hold, although I doubt anything's going to happen. Holding 2 fingers. All right, so that didn't do anything. I'm going to triple press.
Pressing the home button 3 times will turn TalkBack on or off. TalkBack is off now.
Yeah, so it said pressing the home button 3 times will turn TalkBack on or off. TalkBack is off now, so I'm going to press it again.
TalkBack on. Welcome to TalkBack.
Okay, so you can turn TalkBack on
Focused item on the screen is spoken out loud.
from setup,
Swiping right moves to the next
although
item.
it's kind of,
Swipe. Accessibility volume.
it's low volume. I'm going to turn it up.
Increase. Maximum. Scroll.
See the speed.
Speech rate. Speech rate 146%.
Samsung TTS is
Swipe
so
up and
slow.
down. Speech rate 194%. Speech rate 214%.
I feel like
Swipe up
200%.
then down or swipe down then up to select a different setting.
I feel like 200% on Samsung TTS should just be the standard 100%. So let's see what's on here.
When TalkBack is on, the focused item on the screen is spoken out loud. Swiping right moves to the next item. Close tutorial button.
I'm going to close this
Double
tutorial.
tap to close tutorial. You can come back to it anytime in TalkBack settings. Stay in tutorial button. Close button. Permission request. Allow Android Accessibility Suite to send you notifications. Heading.
It does feel a little more responsive.
Allow button.
I will say that,
Double tap to activate. Samsung Setup Wizard.
than what I'm used
Galaxy
to.
Watch 7. 1Y6W. Links available. You swipe down then right to view. TalkBack. You'll see a pop-up on your phone to help you connect. If you don't see it, try connecting in your phone's Galaxy wearable app or Bluetooth settings.
So even though I'm glad that you could turn TalkBack on at setup, it's not really necessary because if you're near a phone that has Bluetooth enabled and the screen is on, you will get a pop-up as soon as this watch boots up asking if you want to set up the watch, and you just do everything on your phone from there, and it will notice during setup that you have TalkBack enabled on your phone, and will ask you if you also want to enable it on the watch, and it will do it at that point. So you don't have to enable TalkBack out of the box. It will kind of do it for you during setup. But anyway, that concludes this unboxing of the Galaxy Watch 7. Thanks for listening.
Up next is the tip of the week. This is a feature where we show you a trick or two on how to use some certain feature on your phone or some other feature in a given app. And now for this week's episode, here's your tip of the week.
And we close this episode with a tip of the week. And we revert to something we looked at last week in the Samsung accessibility settings. John shows us the Speak Aloud feature on the keyboard.
Hello. For this week's tip of the week, I'm going to be demonstrating an accessibility setting on Samsung devices called Speak Keyboard Input Aloud. This will give you the experience similar to direct touch typing if you've ever used that on an iPhone with VoiceOver. Some of the caveats here are that first, you need to be using a Samsung phone because this is a Samsung accessibility feature. Also, you need to be using Samsung's keyboard as your default keyboard. Also, you're going to need to turn off TalkBack when you want to use this feature. And finally, the setup is a little complicated, which is why I'm here to show you how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need to do to have this feature be available to you is switch your default keyboard to Samsung's keyboard. Right now mine is Gboard, and I'm in Telegram, and I have the keyboard on screen. I'm just going to hit switch input in the bottom left of the screen.
Switch input method. Button. Keyboard hidden. Choose input method. Not selected. Radio button. Samsung keyboard. Saved messages. English, US, QWERTY shown. Message. Edit box. Showing Samsung keyboard.
So now that we have Samsung's keyboard as our default, I'm going to go to the Settings app.
Keyboard hidden. Settings. Search settings. Button.
We'll scroll down until we find Accessibility.
Apps. Default apps. Apps. General management. Language and accessibility. Vision, hearing, dexterity.
Go here.
Accessibility. Navigate up. Button.
Now we're going to go to
Vision enhancements.
Vision Enhancements. It's one of the first things near the top.
Vision enhancements. Navigate up. Button.
And in here, I'm just going to scroll all the way to the bottom because it's one of the last items on screen.
Speak keyboard input allowed. Disabled while talkback is on. Disabled.
So as you can see, it's not letting us in because we are using TalkBack. And that's because TalkBack already speaks keyboard input allowed, so why would you want to use this? But obviously the reason we want to use this is because TalkBack is slow when it comes to typing. So for those of us that are really good at typing, which, full disclosure, I'm not one of them, this is a way for us to type without TalkBack turned on and still be able to hear what we're doing. So what you're going to have to do is turn off TalkBack and tap in the spot on the screen where this is. So I'm just going to find it again with my finger.
Speak keyboard input allowed. Disabled while talkback is on. Disabled.
I'm going to do my shortcut to turn off TalkBack.
Talkback off.
I'm going to tap in that same spot. Turn TalkBack on again.
Talkback on.
And let's see if we're on the screen.
Speak keyboard input allowed. Window speak keyboard input allowed.
Okay, so I touched near the top, so we are here. Now I'm going to swipe right.
Speak keyboard input allowed. Off switch. Disabled.
And again, same thing, it's disabled for the same reason, so we're going to need to do this one more time.
Talkback off.
You'll feel a vibration when the switch is turned on, so you'll know you hit it.
Talkback on. Speak keyboard input allowed. On. Switch. Disabled.
So as you can see, it is now turned on, and the rest of this we can do the regular way with TalkBack.
Speak keyboard input allowed shortcut.
Here's a shortcut. So just as a side note, if you didn't want to have to do all this stuff I just did, and you don't care to customize the settings in here in any way, you just want to turn it on, you can turn it on by going into Accessibility Settings, then going to Advanced, and finding the shortcut you want to assign it to. It can just be temporarily, but you can assign this accessibility service called Speak Keyboard Input Allowed to a shortcut. You can use the shortcut to turn it on, and then even from there you can just leave it on and unassign the shortcut if you want to. But if you want to customize anything in here, you're going to have to do that workaround to turn off TalkBack to get in here. Another side note, if you have another screen reader installed like Jishuo, you might want to just turn that on temporarily and go in here and do all of this just the regular way with that screen reader, assuming you're not using the TalkBack spoofing version of Jishuo. You can just come in here and change all of these settings like I'm about to do.
Off speak keyboard input allowed shortcut. Switch.
So I do not have it assigned to a shortcut. I'm just going to leave it on all the time.
What to read. Heading.
This is what type of feedback you want.
Not selected. Radio button. Characters. Not selected. Radio button. Words. Selected. Radio button. Characters and words.
I have mine set to characters and words. I believe the default was characters only.
Capital letters. Heading.
Now how you want your capital letters spoken or not spoken.
Not selected. Radio button. Do nothing. Not selected. Radio button.
Say capital. Not selected. Radio button. Change pitch. Selected. Radio button. Play sound.
So I like to hear a sound for capital letters. We have a couple more options on this page.
Read deleted characters aloud. On. Switch. Phonetic alphabet. When reading letters aloud, use the corresponding word from the phonetic alphabet instead of the letter name. Off switch.
And those are all the settings for customizing this. Now that we have it set up, let's go back to Telegram and start typing.
Saved messages. English, US, QWERTY shown. Editing. Message. Edit box. Showing Samsung keyboard.
So in order to do this, again, you have to be using Samsung's keyboard. And you have to turn off TalkBack to do it. So use whatever shortcut you want to turn TalkBack off, and then you can start typing on the keyboard. Keep in mind that the volume at which it's going to talk is tied to the media volume and not the accessibility volume. So if you have your media volume turned all the way down, it will seem like it's not working. And again, if you have it turned all the way up, it's going to be very loud. So just keep that in mind before you do it.
TalkBack off.
And something that I want to remind you of is the fact that while you're doing this, you do not have TalkBack enabled. So be very careful, because if you miss the keyboard and hit something outside the keyboard, for example, the send button in your conversation, it will send the message. So make sure you're very precise when using this method. Now that I have TalkBack off, I'm just going to quickly type something.
T. H. I. S. This space. I. S. Is space. A. Space. T. E. S. T. Test space.
And thanks to the power of editing, I got that exactly right on my first try. Like I said, I'm not good at this, but a lot of people are. And now I'm just going to clear the field by holding delete.
Space delete.
And it's as easy as that. I'm going to turn TalkBack on again.
TalkBack on.
A couple of things I wanted to point out. As you heard when I was typing, it made typing sounds, and there was a different sound for the capital letter. If you have Do Not Disturb turned on, you won't hear those sounds, so just be aware of that. And also, something I'm not a fan of is, as you noticed, when I put in a space, it would read the word followed by space, so it would say, this space is space, instead of just saying the word. And I thought that might be because I had characters and words enabled to be read back, but even if you only have it set to words and not characters, it still announces the space. So that's just kind of an annoying thing that you will probably have to live with. I don't know if it'll ever be different. Anyway, that was a quick demo of using Samsung's accessibility feature called Speak Keyboard Input Aloud. Thanks for listening. I just wanted to say that in that demo where I was having the issue where it would say space after each word, after talking to the podcast crew about it, Karine, for whatever reason, on her Galaxy A55, it was not doing it. It was behaving how it should and just saying the word when you put the space in there instead of saying the word followed by space, which is completely unnecessary in my opinion. Is that right, Karine?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I don't know if, are you on 6.1.1 or 6.1?
6.1.
Okay, so we're using the same One UI version. And for me, it's not saying space after the word. I tried to use the same configuration. So characters and words, but it's not saying space at all after the word, which is good, in my opinion. I think it's better to not say it. Well, some may argue that the space is a character and it should be like it's a key and it should be announced. Yeah, it's right, but it's not necessary because when you hear the word, you will know that the space was pressed actually. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the
And of course, some may argue, you mean Warren is the only one who would argue.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No.
But actually, I don't know if it will be who will be getting the update and how it will change. I think that one of us is using maybe a newer version of a Samsung keyboard. We didn't actually check, so we should check. And I think that one of us will have the behavior changed. So I hope that you will be the one, and it will stick to the thing of not saying the space after the word.
So I have to apologize to Warren. A thing I've literally never done in 3 years because I normally abuse him. I was checking this very briefly on a very noisy subway train. If it is set to characters and words, I think it should say space. If it's set to words, it absolutely should not. But if it is set to characters and words, then yes, it should say space.
My question is, if you hit the space bar without typing anything, would it say space or not?
Yes.
There, bingo.
But my argument is
now let me finish my thought.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
the whole idea is that it's intended to speak what you've just acted on. So it's no sin for it to say space. So it's just following the logic, and you don't need a 101 in logic to understand that it needs to say the space, unless, of course, there's a place in there that says, I can customize it to not say space after I hit space after a word. If not, it is just doing what it's supposed to do logically.
For characters and words, I think that's right. Absolutely right.
But my argument is it should say space when you put the space in and then say the word. But what it's doing is it's saying the word and then saying space, which is it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, but it just spoke that key aloud. The whole idea is that whatever you touch, it should say what you just did. So if we say it shouldn't say space and you mistakenly hit a space where you're not supposed to, you want it to just leave a space there and not let you know that you actually inserted a space in the wrong
when it
place.
says the word, says the word, you know you've put a space because it's not going to just say a word for no reason.
Yeah, no, but John, the idea is that it should let you what you've touched on that keyboard. That's where I'm arguing from.
There's no key on the keyboard that is a complete word. So when it says a complete word, you've pressed space.
But
Come
when
on,
this is set to characters, though.
No, if it
does that on words, I would agree with you. But characters and words,
it does it on words for me.
No, what I'm saying,
it shouldn't do it on words.
Hear me out. What I'm saying is that the whole idea is to speak aloud whatever you touch on that keyboard. That's the whole idea. And so there's no reason why it shouldn't say space, unless, like I said, if there's a configuration in there that one could say, okay, I've kind of gotten used to the keyboard and there are certain things I don't want to hear spoken out loud, then you could do so. But if not, it's doing logically what it's supposed to do. There's no argument here.
But John has just raised the thing, and I was under a misapprehension when I answered the thing on the group earlier in the week. If it should not say it when key echo is set to words, obviously, like that would be weird.
Yeah. So the problem is this is not a design thing. It's what's happening in my. I could be wrong because I didn't develop the thing, but I feel like what's happening is it's taking all of the characters plus the space and reading it as a word, because sometimes it won't say the word and a space, but sometimes it'll combine it phonetically, and it sounds really weird. So it's a bug. They did not do this intentionally, but you guys are saying they should do this intentionally, and it's fine that we disagree.
Well, if I want to be objective here, I should admit that they are right about this, because actually it should read the space because it's a character at the end of the day. But what should be done is that it should be before the word, as you said, Ron. So it should say space and then the word. But the problem will be that it will be less convenient, especially for those who want to type quickly and who want to hear the word. So they should hear every time the space and then the word. So it will be less convenient, but according to logic and objectivity, I think, they are right about it.
Just to follow up, because you mentioned it's probably the keyboard. We'll have to look into the keyboard version because I did test it with multiple TTS engines and it still did it. So it's not something related to the Samsung TTS. It's something to do with the keyboard, most likely.
Yeah, I also did. So I can confirm that I also tried with other engines and it's the same behavior, no spaces.
All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. John, how can people get in touch with us?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to blindandroidusers+subscribe@groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Well, thank you very much for listening, everybody. See you next week. Say bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again for listening and looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Have a great week. Enjoy the Pixel event, and we will be discussing it next week.
It's a Pixar event, isn't it, John? How are people supposed to enjoy that?
To each his own.
Barely Acre.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.